Good evening. It's Wednesday evening, 6 o'clock at the yoga watering hole. And this is a call to all wild animals, yogis, yoginis, to stretch it up for the next 45 minutes to an hour. Wait for a couple of connections to tune in before we get moving. I believe there's a 30-second delay on this live stream, in case anyone goes crazy. So we'll just wait to catch up. Do we have any takers? Yes, we do. Welcome online. Wednesday evening yoga. Excellent. I can feel the seasons changing. The sun angles are quite different to a few weeks ago. Spring is in the air. So here we are at the yoga watering hole. We're going to do some stretching, some anatomically correct movement where we stretch in alignment with the natural curvatures of our body and try and get space in between our vertebrae. Remember, we're going to be breathing through our nose, and we're looking for an intention of movement. We're looking for deliberate movement. So we're not taking movement shortcuts wherever possible. Actually, we take the long cut. We try and make the movement as full and as expansive as possible. And take as long as you like, move as slowly as feels good. And remember to breathe through your nose. I hope you enjoy the practice. Let's get going. Let's come up to the front of our mat and kneel. Okay, so I'm pressing my knees together and my heels together, and really get like a compression action, squeezing your thighs together and the shins together, hands on your hips. Can you really feel that activation in your legs, even though you're not moving anywhere? Arms out to the sides, fingers are spread, shoulders are lifting. Now reach your arms above your head. You're driving your knees down into the mat, and you're using that to stretch up. So your knees are rooting down, everything else is stretching up. Your thighs and your knees and your heels are squeezing together. Press your hips a little bit forward. Pull them a little bit back. Back to the center. Move them over to the right side. Back to the center and over to the left side. Lower your right hand. Now you're stretching up with the left hand and down with the right hand. Pressing your hips forward, breathing through the nose. Both hands up, left hand down. Again, increase the distance between the fingertips. Pressing the thighs forward. Both arms up. Now you're in a prayer. Your fingers are spread and pressing firmly into each other. Your wrists are elbow height. And you keep squeezing your knees and feet together. Sink down as far as is comfortable. Back up. Okay, hands down on the side of the mat, broad apart, fingers are spread broad, and step back to a plank. Okay, so check your alignment. Your hands are really wide apart, your fingers are spread as wide apart as possible. The creases of your wrists are parallel to the front of the mat, and your body is like a plank. You're not piked up and you're not sinking down, you're in a nice straight plank. Breathing through the nose, hold it there. Visualize gripping the mat with your fingers like a cat would grip the mat. Okay, now there's a rope underneath your hips lifting up, pulling up towards the top, towards the ceiling, and also pulling backwards, pulling you into a downward dog shape. Bend your knees deeply. You're in a bent knee downward dog. Now lift your right leg parallel to the floor, just holding it there. Keep pulling your hips backwards. So you're supporting yourself on quite a deeply bent one knee. Your other leg is parallel to the mat. Okay, leg down, so both knees are bent. Lift the left leg parallel to the mat. Keeping it parallel to the mat, pull the hips back. Okay, both feet are down, both knees are bent. Knees down, wide apart, toes are touching. Come up onto your fingertips, press your elbows forward and sink your hips down. It's kind of a strange, modified child's pose where the upper chest and shoulders are lifting and there's activation. You're stretching from your hips to your elbows. Does that make sense? Feel it. Let your lower spine uncurl. Relax your neck. Okay, palms of the hands are down, stepping back to plank again. Now we're going to step our right foot halfway up the mat or even further, and it goes off the mat. Right arm up. It's a half cross. So I'm activating down this long straight left leg. My right leg is bent forward, hips are lifting. Trying to get the top hand as high as possible. Breathing through the nose. You're going to hold these positions for quite a while. Has a very grounding, earthing effect. Okay, top hand down, step back to plank. Other leg, step your left foot halfway up or further, and it's straight off the mat with the heel on the edge of the mat. Activate down that straight leg, left arm up, look up. Get that top hand as high as you can, driving the hips up, that back thigh is pressing up. Breathing through the nose. Okay, top hand down, back to plank. Now we're going to the full pose, other side. We're rolling over onto the outside edge of our left foot. Our right foot is stacked on top of that foot, and then you're in a full cross. Everything is stacked above that left wrist. Shoulder, other shoulder. Lift your toes so that your feet are active. Helps you have a nice firm cross. Okay, top hand down, roll over onto the other side. Full cross on the other side. Big expansive move early on in the practice. Gets all the muscles firing. Okay, top hand down, you're in downward dog, your feet are hip width apart. Your hands are broader than your shoulder width apart. Pulling your thighs back. Let your thighs pull your hips back. Breathe into the most sensitive area of the spine. Stretch through it. Can you focus on that area? Really try and give extra activation through the most sensitive or stiff area. Now as many steps as you need. Walk slowly up the center line of the mat. All the way to the top. Feet are together at the top of the mat. Interlace your hands behind your back. Relax your neck. Lengthen the back of your neck. So you're possibly looking towards the back of the room. Your toes are lifting now. Keeps your legs active. Maybe you want to bend your knees, might be more comfortable. Okay, then lift the head, come up all the way standing. Cool. Arms up, stretching up through the shoulders. Prayer. Hands on your hips. Okay, now we're going to do nice, smooth, deliberate movement, stepping back to triangle pose legs. I'm going to step my right foot back, big distance. Both legs are straight. Hands on the hips. So the front foot's facing forward, the back foot's facing 90 degrees. And I'm stretching the mat so much that my hips lift a millimeter. Can you feel that lift in the hips? Really, maybe you want to bend the knees a bit and then drive them straight again so that you stretch the mat. Keep that stretching action, which is like activating the legs, and bend the front knee quite deeply, so it's over the ankle. Okay, now arms are parallel to the mat. It's a warrior two pose. Front knee is over the ankle. Everything else is as far back as you can get it. Your shoulders are over your hips. Neck is relaxed. You're pressing outwards. Two more breaths. Back hands on the back leg sliding down, front hands reaching up. In a prayer, front elbows touching the front knee, but everything else is lifting, so be as high as possible with that elbow touching the knee. Lift the torso, step forward. Nice. Hands on the hips. Both feet are facing the front. We're going to go into the other side now, stepping the left foot back big distance. Both legs are straight. Bend them and then drive them straight so you can feel the hips lifting. While you've got that activation, bend the front knee deeply so the front knee is over the ankle. Get that back foot as far back as you can. That back thigh is pulling back. It's pulling that hip backwards, so there's a rotation in the hips. Arms are parallel to the mat. Warrior 2. Get your shoulders back. Spread the fingers. There's a broadening action here. If you were getting squashed between two panes of glass, you'd be getting narrower. Let that back hip really actively drive backwards. Back hand on the back leg slides down, front hand reaching up. Keep your knees straight over the ankle. Back to warrior 2, you're in a prayer, and then keeping your torso high, the front elbows touching the front knee, driving down that back leg. Lift the torso, step forward. Nice. Adjust the camera angle. Cool. Okay, feet together, knees bent, arms up. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Try and get your ribs back so everything is above the hips. Makes it a little bit harder. Prayer, wrists and elbows are the same height. Lower the prayer to the knees. Lengthen the back of the neck. So you're gazing kind of forwards and down. Okay, hands alongside, maybe slide them back in line with your heels. Step your right foot back big distance. So we're in a deep front lunge. Front knee is over the ankle. Left arm forward. So it's the opposite arm to whatever leg is back. We're stretching asymmetrically through the hip structure from the back heel all the way through to the fingertips. Now lift that arm up, look up, and drive that back thigh up. You should feel a nice twist in the hips. Okay, arms reaching forward again, you're in front lunge. Hand down, step forward, feet are next to each other, keep the knees bent, step the left foot back big distance. Front knee is over the ankle. Driving that back heel as far back as possible, right arm forward. Stretching from that back leg all the way through to the opposite arm. Go for length. Top arm up, look up. Driving that back thigh up. You might be doing some self-chiropractics here. Front arm is facing forward, you're in front lunge again. Hand down, step forward, bend the knees, arms behind your back. Lift the torso and head and come all the way up. Nice. Catch your breath. Catch your dizziness if there's any. Just try to sink through it. Give yourself time between poses. Whenever you feel like it. Okay. Let's go into a sumo squat. Horse squat. So my heels are touching the edge of the mat and my feet are facing 45 degrees out. And I'm sinking my hips down to kind of knee level. Hands are resting on the knees. Might look comfortable, but it's strenuous. No. Arms up. Now we're sinking from our hips, reaching up through the shoulders. All the way. Prayer, maybe you want to rest your elbows on your thighs, give you a little bit of relief. Real nice deep hip, lower buttock kind of area opener. Okay, hands are down, straighten the feet parallel to the mat, tiptoe the hands as far forward as possible, pulling the hips back, stretching as far forward, lifting the shoulders, lengthening the back of your body open. Okay, hands beneath the shoulders. Step the left foot back. So the front foot is still forward, it's on the edge of the mat. That back foot's in the far back corner of the mat. Now lean towards the knee. So I'm leaning right towards my right knee. Left arm up. If you want, you can drop the back heel. Side angle pose. Top hand down, face the front, step forward with the left foot and back with the right. Okay, so front knee's bent deeply. I'm leaning towards the knee. I can either stay on the ball of the foot in the front facing position and raise the arm, or you can drop the back heel into side angle pose. top hand down, step forward, bend the knees, reach forward with the arms. Hands on your hips, up we come. Cool. Warm actually. Feet together, knees bent, arms up. Okay, diving, you straighten the legs, fingertips down, pulling the hips back. Bend the knees and then step or jump back to a plank. Now flip over onto the tops of your feet. That's a strange one. Those toes are active. Press the hips forward, pulling the shoulders back. Chest pressing forward, shoulders are pulling back. You're lifting, you're not sinking down, you're lifting up. And there's a moon on the back of the body. You're being stretched over the back of a sphere. Okay, back up onto all fours. Tuck your toes, lift your ribs a bit, straighten your legs, downward dog. Keep those hips pulling back, lengthening from the wrists to your hips. If there was someone standing behind you, pulling your thighs back, visualize that and go with that movement. Okay, slowly walk up the center line of the mat. When you get to the top, feet are together. You place your hands behind your back. Bend the knees, and now keep your balance. Step your right foot back, big distance, until it lands 45 degrees there. Now when you lean forward, lift your chest so it's an extension of the leg. Front knee is over the ankle. Okay, lift your chest, arms out to the side and reaching up. Back thigh is driving back. Prayer. Hands down. Step forward, feet are together. Shoot the left foot back, big distance. Back foot 45 degrees so that the sole of the foot is on the floor. Front knees bent deeply. Interlace your hands behind your back. And really lengthen from the back heel to the top of the head. Torso as an extension of the leg. Lift the chest, arms out to the side, and then up, palms facing each other. That back thigh driving vigorously backwards. Let that hip pull back so there's a hip rotation happening. In prayer, inhale, hands down, step forward. Bend your knees, reach forward with the arms. Hands on your hips, up we come. Great. Let's do that again. Pause for a moment in mountain pose. Standing. The line to the top of your head is as tall as possible. Shoulders relaxed, jaws relaxed. Knees bent, arms up. Try and keep that relaxed face while you're doing these vigorous movements. Diving forward, bend the knees, back to plank. Now keeping your elbows tucked alongside your body, you come down to a press up, just one, holding it there. Couple of breaths. Okay, press up. Flip over onto the tops of the feet. Upward dog. Hips are driving forward. Shoulders are pulling back. Chest's pressing forward. Back onto all fours. Tuck your toes. Downward dog. Thighs are pressing back. Now walk your feet together in the center of the mat. Lift your heels so you're on high tiptoes and lift the right leg. Moving from the thigh. Reach all the way up to the heel. Stretch back. Can you straighten and lengthen that line from wrist, shoulders, hips, heel? Okay, straight leg, lower the leg, feet are together, straight away, lift the other side. Left leg up. Lift the hips, pull the heel back. Feet down, walk slowly up the center line of the mat. All the way to the top. When you get to the top, interlace the hands behind your back. Lengthen the back of the neck so you're looking backwards. Bend your knees, step back with that right foot. Right foot flat on the floor. Lift the chest. Arms out to the side. Reaching up. It's back thigh pulling back, knees anchored. Prayer, inhale, hands down, step forward, feet are together, left foot back. Right knee's bent, anchored over the ankle. Back foot's far back, it's 45 degrees, hands behind your back. Torso is an extension of the leg for now. We're really loading up that hip, doing some really deep work here. Arms out to the side, lift the shoulders and torso, stretching out, driving that back thigh back. We're in a prayer once more. Hands down, step forward, bend your knees, reach forward. Broadening the buttock bones. Hands on your hips, up we come. Okay, one last time. This time feet are hip width apart, knees bent, reaching up with the hands. We're in a prayer. Prayer down to your knees. Hands flat and wide apart, back to plank. Knees down. Come with your fingertips on the side of the mat. Now very slowly, you might need to move your chest further forward. Get your chest and your chin down to the ground. It's a radical upper chest opener. Take it slow. Lift your chest. Hands back on the mat. Broad apart. Straighten your legs, driving your thighs back. Downward dog. Okay, step your feet to the center of the mat. Lift your right leg, reaching up into the heel. And on the next exhale, bring that knee and sweep it through, touching your forehead. Inhale, lift it back to where it was. Exhale, knee to forehead. One more time, lift the heel up. Exhale, knee to forehead. Drop your feet next to each other. Keep the heels lifted. Other leg, reaching up. Left leg, reaching up into the heel. On the inhale, and then exhale, knee to forward. Inhale, leg up. 2 more times, knee to forward on the exhale. Inhale up. Knee to forward. Inhale up. Feet together, knees wide apart. You're on fingertips, elbows are lifting. Sink your groins down into a modified child's pose. Get your belly button down. Maybe you want to rest on the forward. Pulling the hips back, and you get a softening in the hips and groin area. Okay, we're kneeling again. Knees are together, hands are broad. Hands are broader than my shoulders. Right leg is straight out behind me. The leg is parallel to the mat. It's enough work for now. Just enjoy the breathing. Get a lift in the whole body. Shoulders are pressing forward perhaps. Okay, now keeping that leg straight, it goes 90 degrees out to the side, keeping it hip high. We're holding it there for a couple of breaths. Okay, and then back, straight out behind you. When you're behind you, the foot's facing the floor, and then drop the knee, knees are together. Keep your ribs lifting so that you're not bowing too much like this. You lift your ribs. Okay, left leg straight out behind you. Shoulders are pressing forward. There's lift in the torso. Keeping that leg hip height. Out to the side it goes. Foot facing the front. Holding it at hip height. Really pressing that thigh backwards. Okay, leg out behind you again. And then down, knees together. We're kneeling. Right leg. Reach out behind you. Now we're going to move 1 breath per movement. On the exhale, leg out to the side. Same again. Inhale behind you. 4 times. Exhale out to the side. Inhale behind you. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Okay. Knees down, knees are together. Other side. Left leg straight out behind you. Stretch, lengthen on the inhale. Exhale, move. Inhale back. Exhale, move to the side. Inhale back. 2 more times. Exhale to the side. Inhale back. Exhale to the side. Inhale back. Knees down. Excellent. Okay, let's flip over. We're going to sit. We're going to sit on that. Shouldn't come forward actually. Okay, I'm sitting, obviously. Broaden your bum bones. Like, use your hands to actually make them wider apart and as far back as possible. Then bend that right knee, putting the sole of the foot up the thigh as far as you can. Putting that knee back, maybe even beyond the 90-degree line. Now you might want to broaden the sitting bones again. We really want to get your hips rotating forward here. So you need to broaden on the back side. This thigh is pressing down. Imagine the bottom of the leg lengthening. So that heel is pressing forward as this thigh goes down because we're lengthening the bottom of this leg. This knee is pulling back as far as possible. Broaden the sitting bones. Okay, now arms up. And we're tilting slightly forward. Use that forward tilt to drop the sitting bones down. They might lift up a bit, like stretch them down. Can you find the mat again? Can you broaden them? Keep pressing that front thigh down. We kind of angled between the back knee and the front leg. We're reaching forward to the top corner of the room. Using that leverage to get opening in the bottom of this right sitting bone, buttock. We're in a prayer. Keep your torso lifting high. Perhaps you want to touch the front knee with this elbow. Top hand lift. This hand, can you grab this toe from underneath? It's like an underhand grip. And pull towards you. Lifting up with this hand, looking up. So I'm really vigorously pulling against this toe, which is pulling back. There's a bind here. Stretching up, reaching forward. Opening up this whole side. Lift arm. Release. Come out of it. Okay, let's go into the other side. Right leg is straight up behind you. Pulling this left sole of the foot right up. Broaden your sitting bones. Reach your arms up. Now bisect the angle between the knee, which is as far back as possible, and this front leg, reaching forward. Use that action to broaden the bum bones and stretch them down, lengthening the back of your hip structure there, back of the sacroiliac joint. Now we're in a prayer. Front elbows touching the knee, looking to the side. Now lift the front hand, the top hand, and the front hand grabs the toe. Toes pressing forward. I'm pulling back, underhand, reaching up. Both sitting bones are driving down as you reach up. Maybe I want to reach over to the front. Look up, get a bit of an opening in the chest. Arms up. Release. Okay, other side again. Very similar. This time we're not going sideways, we're facing the front. So our hips are facing the front. I'm pulling this knee as far back as possible and broadening the sitting bones. And I'm grabbing this toe if possible. Or you grab the shin if the toe is too far forward. But there's now a triangle of my leg, my arms, and my torso. You see that triangle? We want to grow that triangle. So you're pressing the thigh down, you're pulling the shoulders up. That's the primary action. So we're trying to lengthen our torso here. Drive this front hip down. Shoulders are pulling up. Toes pressing forward, but shoulders are pulling back. There's this whole bound, using your body to activate against that, really lengthening, stretching the spine. It's like self-induced traction. Stay here, breathing through the nose. Can't tell, it's hard to tell if there's activity, but you can feel it. Press the thigh down, shoulders are lifting. You might have to stay here a while. Things can become quite deep frozen, and they need a while until they thaw. This is a great pose to stay until you feel a thawing action. Might not happen on the first session, but a couple of them can unlock some quite magical effects there. Let's switch sides. Okay, so my left knee is pulled back. I'm facing the front now though. Hips are facing the front, broadening the sitting bones. I'm using the 2 fingers on each hand to grab the big toe. Now this triangle of legs, of arms, leg, torso, we want to grow that thing. So lift the shoulders, thighs pushing down, front thighs pushing down. Just doing that gives you some more space. Maybe you want to move that bent knee back a little bit. And you can lift the shoulders more. Neck is relaxed. Front thigh is driving down. This back thigh is kind of also driving down. Stay here a while, breathing. Not much longer. Okay, release. Center yourself. And now lift your right heel. Grab it with your right hand underneath the heel on the inside. And pull the foot towards you. Keep your spine lifting and active. Don't slouch into this. Try and lift up with your spine at all times. With your left hand, can you reach around and get the elbow onto the foot. And then bind around it. So you're cradling your shin. Can you get there? Hopefully you're there. Otherwise, approximate this. Front thighs pressing down. Just center yourself. This is a strange position to find ourselves. So maybe it's a novelty, just to see what it feels like. I'm facing the front and I'm cradling this. I'm level. And I'm rocking from side to side. Getting a bit of action going there. Lift the toes so that this foot's active. Maybe you want to pull the foot back with this upper arm and then press the foot forward. It's kind of, you are binding yourself and explore the boundaries of the bind, because you can massage yourself that way. I'm really trying to mobilize in all directions, swaying the shin, activating the foot, putting the knee back. Move around as much as it might feel nice. Keep holding onto this foot. Press the knee forward and down. Practice going into that half lotus kind of a feeling. It's a nice way to do that. Okay, if it feels weird, don't do it. Other side. Lifting the left heel. Left hand cupping underneath the heel. And then pull the foot towards you with this right elbow. Lock it around the foot and then cradle the shin. Okay. Front leg is active and straight. Give you stability, that thing's pressing down. Lift the shin so it's level. Start mobilizing. I'm feeling it here in this lower hip. Where do you feel it? Activate, breathe, appreciate the feeling. Press the foot against that upper elbow, pulling it back. Explore the boundaries of this thing. You've had enough? Let go, but keep holding the foot. Pressing the knee forward, pulling the foot back and down. Activate that knee forward. Half lotus. Okay. Let's change it up. Let's stand again. Final few poses. We're going to do some bounces. Are we for time? We'll be fine for time. Okay. Standing up the front of the mat. Let's go into tree pose. Bring your feet together, spread your feet so that you've got as good a chance as possible. Your feet are as broad as possible. Lifting that right sole of the foot up. Place it on the inside thigh. Maybe the heel's slightly in front of the toe. You can have your hands on your hips or out to the side for balance. Rooting down that straight leg. Hip is pulling back. Focus on a spot in front of you. Tune into that spot and try and tune everything else out. Link to your breath. Maybe your hands out to the side or above you. Can you lengthen through that standing line, allowing the adjustments to happen as you activate and soften at the same time. You hold it for a while, maybe vary it with a prayer. And then smoothly switch sides. Anchor your foot nicely up on the thigh, as high as you can. Heels slightly forward. Knees pulling back. Hands where you like them for max balance. Lengthen through the standing line. Pull the head back. Prayer for the tree. Switch sides. Okay, this time, right ankle on the left knee. I'm in a prayer, and then I'm bending my knee until my forearms rest on my shin. Elbows are touching the feet and the shin. Breathing through the nose. Top foot, if you lift the toes, they're active. Helps a lot. Okay, switch sides. Left foot on the right knee. Nice active prayer. Lift the toes on that top foot. Good. Last one, the dancer. Whoopsie. Right foot on the left knee. And then the opposite hand. So the left hand goes to the right knee. Other hand goes up. And then you lower yourself as low as you can. Top foot is again lifted. Nice asymmetrical twisted motion here through this hip. Okay, other side. Opposite hand to the knee. Other hand up. Get that knee as bent as deeply as you can. Back to neutral. Come down onto the front of the mat, so we're lying on our belly. Knees are bent and wide apart. Feet are touching. Hands are in front of me. They're quite broad and I'm on my fingertips. Relax the back of the neck. Lift the knees off the ground, just an inch, a few centimeters. And down. Okay, reach the hands behind you, grab the ankles. Okay, pull the knees together, so you're either together or they're not more than hip width apart. Now start activating those shins back. Let the shins pull the shoulders back, slowly. Release. Same again on the other side. Rolling over onto your back. Bend your knees, bring your heels up to your bum. Keep holding your ankles for now. Keep your knees together. Use the strength of your legs to lift the hips up. Press your belly button up. Can you tuck your shoulders underneath each other? And then really exaggerate it. Drive up. Imagine trying to lift the ceiling with your hips. Keep your knees not splaying out. Keep them parallel. Slowly come down, all the way down. Shake your neck from side to side, let it roll from side to side. We're going to do one more. Muster up the will and the enthusiasm, if it's not there. This time maybe you want to go a little bit deeper. Hands above your head and place them above your shoulders, facing your body. Tuck your elbows towards each other. Lift the hips using the strength of the legs. And then when you're ready, come onto the crown of your head, placing it on the floor. Get your hands nice and broad so you've got stability, and then stay there. I would recommend staying here. Keep your elbows pulling towards each other. Drive up with the legs. Lift the hips. Press the chest up towards your chin. Using a little bit of assistance from resting this crown of your head on the mat. But there's a great back bend opportunity here. Okay, lift the crown of your head. Slowly lower yourself down to the ground. Keep your knees bent. Your feet are together. Left knee down to the ground. Yes. Arms out to the side. Using the strength of the right leg, lift the right hip up. The right side of your body is is kind of back bending as high as you can. Left side's totally passive, draping down like a dolly watch. Okay, lower the hips, both knees are up. Center yourself, lower your right knee to the ground. Strength of the left leg. Press down to the foot, lift the left hip up. Right side is draping. Lower your hips. Bend your knees, clasp your hands around your knees, pressing them towards you. Lift your neck and lengthen the back of the neck. Head's on the floor, and just roll your neck from side to side. And then roll up sitting. Great. That was the asana practice. Let's cool off with a few minutes of sitting and breathing. Maybe you want to get a warmer t-shirt on, sort of close this door. Grab some books and sit on the books, or roll up your mat. Just give yourself a little bit of lift. Makes it easier, quite pleasant. So we're going to practice stillness. Just sitting. Trying to cultivate a sense of contentment and an okayness. And trying to practice being the witness, just observing what happens, observing your breath. Witness as much as possible. Try not to form any opinions, just sit here for a while. Feel the waves of energy shifting through your body. Relax your jaw. Like ripples in a lake. With a bit of time, stillness will come. Give us something to focus on. Let's do some one nostril breathing as we always do. With our claw hand, thumb and last two fingers, manipulating your nostrils as little as you need to, as high as possible. Keep yourself centered, relaxed. Switch hands if necessary. It's A-frame. Inhale through the one nostril, exhale through the other nostril. Inhale through the same nostril, exhale. You blow out on the exhale to open the nostril. Okay. Block your left nostril, take a huge inhale through the right, pulling down into your diaphragm. Switch on the exhale. Inhale through the same nostril. Switch on the exhale. Breathing from low in the belly, pulling down, get noisy, doesn't matter. Exhale. Same nostril in. Exhale, switch. If there's any jerkiness, just keep going. Try and deepen it, smoothen it, keep going. Keep going. At the top of the inhale, a slight pause. Then you exhale. At the bottom of the exhale, a slight pause. Inhale. Just appreciate those pauses. Keep going. Slightly softer and quieter, but the same depth. As slowly as possible. Can you witness the entire breath? Equal attention to all parts of the breath. Just a few more. Switch hands if you need to. Keep centered and relaxed. Okay, you can let go with the hands. Rest your wrists on your knees, or you can cup your hands in front of you. Check that your eyes are relaxed and your forehead. Can you find contentment just now doing less? Do less for a little while. Namaste. Thank you for practicing together. I hope that's refreshed your perspective and your body and mind and soul. Have a wonderful evening, and I look forward to practicing again same time next week. And thank you for tuning in. It gives me a great reason to be here, and onwards. Cheers.